Welcome to Math 243. So this is just going to be a short introduction on the course. We're going to be using two platforms. The first would be Laulima that you see here, and the other one would be MyLab Math. Let's go ahead and review our Laulima site. I'm going to go ahead and change this to student view so I can see what you see. So this is what you should see when you open your Laulima page. You should have your courses up at the top. You won't see this red bar. That just tells me I'm in student view. And in Math 243, I am now on the welcome page. So the welcome page, on the left, we have our navigation bar, middle, stuff about me, contact information, how to get started in the course. And then on the right, we have announcements and forums. Now, announcements and forums are on the welcome page, but notice that they're also in the navigation bar as well, so you can access them in either one of those ways. Let's go into my contact information. I have an office phone. It's a physical phone that I have at Windward Community College. I am only on campus maybe 1 or 2 days a week. So the best way to get in touch with me would be to email me. Now you can leave a voicemail on my office phone, but what they do with the voicemails is I can't just directly retrieve them from my phone. It's actually saved as a recorded message and then emailed to me. So if you want to leave a voicemail and then it's emailed to me, it's probably best just to email me directly. I have a physical office on Windward campus. If you would like to meet in person, we can always set something up, provided you're on Oahu, right? And I am there every Wednesday for sure, because I do have a class that I teach on Wednesdays. And I have office hours stated for that class Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. So if you are on Oahu and you want to stop by on Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m., no appointment necessary, I'm there. If you would like to email me, I will respond within 24 hours, excluding weekends and holidays. And that could be a little frustrating for students in an online class. You may be working at night, or you may be working on the weekend, and you will email me with a question. And honestly, I might not respond till either Monday or Tuesday. I typically am offline for most of the weekend. If you want to meet virtually through Zoom, I have a Zoom link. You would just email me at least 24 hours in advance and give me a day and a time that you would like to meet. If I'm available, I'll just reply and confirm. If not, I will reply with alternate days and times that we could meet. Again, my normal working hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, excluding holidays. So how do you get started in the course? Well, you want to read the Start Here page, which we'll do, and then the syllabus, and then go to week 1. At any time, if you have any questions regarding this course, email me, Laulima, there's a support link provided, or MyLab Math, there's a support link provided. Let's go. Oop. Got a rooster going off. I live on preservation land, so I often have a lot of roosters going off. Let's go to Start Here. In this green box, it just tells you how to be successful in this course. So you should check into the course daily. You should complete all assigned tasks for each week. Try not to fall behind. In math classes, it's really difficult to catch up once you've fallen behind. The MyLab homework assignments have been posted for the whole semester. You are absolutely free to work ahead on any of the homework assignments. If there are events that keep you from completing work, email me. And then announcements will be posted on Laulima, but they'll also be sent out in an email. And I usually post an announcement every Monday for sure, and then sometimes I do a Friday or a midweek depending on what's going on that week. Again, whenever you need help, just please email me. Technology. There's something that I wanted to bring up here, and that would be bolded down below. Just be aware that, and this is all on Hawaii Standard Time, be aware that Laulima will shut down every morning from 3 to 4 a.m. So if you are on Laulima, maybe uploading something, they will cut you off and you may lose what you're uploading. Hardware, software, it's best to access the material on a desktop or laptop. You can use a Chromebook or a tablet. There may be some issues with looking at an e-text in MyLab Math. It just depends, but typically laptop or desktop has is the best way to complete the course material. Okay, so you should have access to internet, and then PDF files. You should be able to work with PDF files, definitely. So let's go to the syllabus, and we're not going to read through the whole syllabus. You can use that. I just updated the syllabus. There was some contact information that changed with our disabilities counselor and some of our Title IX advocates. So this is an updated syllabus. The first part is the contact information that you saw on the home page or the welcome page. Got our WCC mission statement, catalog description, student learning outcomes, things that you're supposed to learn, the responsibilities of the students, and this is what was in that green box in the Start Here page, pretty much. So don't forget, you need to motivate yourself. Unfortunately, in an asynchronous class, students they don't have real-time interaction. So being self-motivated, I think that's probably the hardest thing in an online class. And setting aside adequate study time, typically in a math class for every credit, you should allow at least 3 hours per week of study time. So we have a 3-credit class, so you should allow at least 9 hours a week. Let's see, so everybody's different. You may need less, you may need more, but that's roughly about 9 hours a week. And then here in this box we have our rubric for what you're graded on. There's going to be 2 midterms or exams and 1 final exam. You have roughly 23 homework assignments in my lab, so they're due weekly. 2 graded problem sets, those would be the written problem sets that you turn in. And they're going to be due a couple weeks before exam 1 and exam 2, so I can provide you with some individual feedback on how you write your work. Forum posts. We have 5 posts throughout the semester, and they're 6 posts, sorry. They're 5 points each, so about 600 points total for the semester. And then we have the usual grade breakdown. A is 90% or above, and so on. We have our course content, what we're going to cover in this class. The required material would be the IDAP program that allows you to have access to MyLab Math. That is charged to your UH account, so you don't have to pay for it right away, which means you can immediately register for IDAP and start doing assignments. Additional resources. These are some helpful resources that students have found helpful. WCC, we have the Capico Tutoring Center, so these are live tutors. Prior semesters, they use Zoom to meet with students, but they may be trying different platforms, such as Google Meets. And then we have some UH resources. The first 2 are live tutors. The last one is just some reference for the distance homepage. OLA is an online tutoring program during the regular semester, and it's through UH. Last time I checked this link, they were still uploading information, so I'm not sure what kind of tutors are available or what their services are for this coming fall semester. Tutor.com is 24/7 live tutors. I believe they use Blackboard, but I'm not sure. They may have changed their platform. And then at the end here, other online resources that students find helpful would be Symbol Lab, Wolfram Alpha, and so on. This Professor Leonard, this is a professor that recorded his lecture videos, and his calculus videos are really good. You might want to check those out. So additional information would be just more specific information on attendance, class participation. There is none. It's asynchronous. You should be able to keep up with the modules. Final exam, cumulative, it's time 4 hours. It's available for 4 days. You can take it on any computer. It's not proctored. The midterm exams, there are 2. You get 3 hours per exam. They will be available 3 to 5 days. You can take them on any computer. just be aware that the exams cannot be extended. You can take them earlier if you wish to arrange that with me, but you cannot take them later. The MyLab settings are automatic. Once the due date has passed for an exam, the solutions and the exams will be available to the whole class for review. So there's no point in you taking an exam after the exam has been visible to the class. And because of that, I have this policy during the regular semester. If the score that you earn on your final exam is higher than your lowest midterm, I will replace the lowest midterm with the score you get on your final exam. So if you miss an exam, remember, no makeups. If you miss an exam, you will get a 0. However, the score you earn on the final exam, since it's cumulative, it covers the material through the whole course. So since it's cumulative, I'm okay with replacing that missed exam with the score you earn on your final exam. And also I'm okay with replacing a low exam score with what you earn on the final exam, if the final exam is higher than your lowest exam score. Because sometimes you may not fully comprehend the information at the time of an exam, but maybe by the time the final comes around, not a problem. So just be aware that there are no extensions for exams. There are 3 exams, 2 midterms, 1 final. The final can replace a low exam score. However, some students have asked me after they've taken the 2 exams, hey, I did well on my first 2 exams. Do I have to take the final? The answer is yes. You have to take the final to pass the class because the final is worth 100 points towards your grade. So you cannot replace your final with your exams, but you can replace a low exam with your final. I hope I'm not confusing you, so email if you have any questions. My lab homework is due weekly on Sundays by 11:59. There's a 1% deduction per day for problems, not assignment, problems that are submitted after the due date. So there's no need to ask for an extension. It's a very minimal deduction. Just be careful that you don't wait, 3 weeks or a month to make up late homework because that 1% per day adds up. The graded problem sets, again, those are written assignments. You can do them on a tablet or on paper. Just scan or take an image if you're doing it on paper and upload it to the graded problem set assignment link. Again, there's no Dropbox in Laulima. There's going to be an assignment link for anything where you have to submit work. Forum posts, we talked about extra credit. There's going to be exam reviews, final exam review. Each one is 10 points extra credit. End of semester survey, another 10 points. So we're talking 30, 40 points extra credit. Disabilities, if you have a disability, our new disabilities counselor is Jody Asato, and her contact information is there. Title IX resources, discrimination and gender-based violence resources. So if you have an issue there, we have 3 contacts. We have a confidential resource, we have a campus advocate, and a confidential advocate. If you prefer to file a report directly online, you can do that as well. And some alternate contact information in case you can't connect with any of those other resources. Some important dates in our syllabus, like the last day to receive your 100% tuition refund if you drop, and so on. So let's look at the schedule, because remember, the exam dates don't change. The first exam, the first midterm, is going to be available 10/10 through 10/14. So that's 5 days. Just make sure you can take it sometime during that 5-day period. And again, if you can't, you always have the option to take it early. Exam 2, November 21st through the 25th. That's again 5 days. And then the final exam is only 4 days. It's December 12th through 15th, so that's a Monday through a Thursday. It will not be available on that Friday. None of the exams are available on the weekend. So again, please make sure you can take the exams during that time. So let's go ahead back to Laulima. We have a grade book. This is where your course grades will be. There's also another grade book on MyLab Math, but I do not use that for your course grade. Announcements, forums, we talked about email. If you want to email myself or other members of the class, you would just click on roles and choose who you would like to email. Assignments, you have your first assignment, which is the student participation verification. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then Kapiko Tutoring and Tutor.com, those are the two most used tutoring resources, so those are linked on the page as well, so you don't have to go through the syllabus to find them. And then right now I have week 1 and week 2 posted. Typically I'm a week or 2 ahead. Let's go to week 1 and then we'll go back to the student participation verification in just a little bit. This course is set up in modules, weekly modules, so every week you'll have a title about what we're going to cover, a description about what we're going to cover, and then under lessons, any resources you need that will help you complete your weekly assignments. There's also a weekly checklist to keep you on task. It's optional. You don't have to use the checklist. And then at the bottom of every page is our questions link. So these are the same links that were on the welcome page, my email for the course questions, Laulima support, and my lab support. Let's go back to our week 1. We have the introduction video, that I'm making right now, so obviously there's no link yet. But by the time you see this, there will be a link. The IDAP registration information that I will open up in just a second, and the student participation verification. So this is not due until August 30th, so that would be the second Tuesday of the semester. I'm going to open that now. So there's instructions here. If you wish to remain in this class, then all you have to do is simply type yes into this box and hit proceed. Just a caution that every campus is different, every instructor is different. For my class, to verify participation, that's all you have to do. Type in yes, hit proceed. For other classes, it may be different. But it is a new requirement that all instructors have to verify student participation, and this is for for federal funding and for financial aid purposes. All right, so let's move on to the IDAP registration information. If you haven't used IDAP before, there are some PDF instructions that have been provided by Pearson. Pearson is the one that owns my lab. In the instructions, they are demonstrating using a UH Manoa IDAP course, but of course ours says Vital Source for Windward Community College. So if you're unsure how to register for IDAP, you can follow these instructions. I'm going to close these out and then go to the Vital Source for UH Windward CC. So again, most of the assignments will be done through My Lab Math, so it's very important that you get registered as soon as possible. Now the first time you register, you're going to click on this link. I got a lot of courses. There it is. And then you see that it says opted in. That's a default. If you want to opt out, you can. Just be aware that if you opt out, you will not have access to My Lab for this course. What you're going to do is you're going to click on Launch Courseware, and you're going to follow those instructions, those PDF instructions on how to register for this course, this My Lab course. Once you're registered, anytime you go into Launch Courseware, it will take you to the course. Eventually. Okay, so this is what you should see after you've registered. Next time you go into the Vital Source link and you click on Launch Courseware, you should see My Lab Math All Assignments, your course home. If you click on More, it's just the Pearson announcements. So sometimes they have scheduled maintenance, and that may be in the announcement. When I enter into my Lab course, I just use this generic orange tab at the top because that just takes me to the whole course, not just the assignments. Now I'm going to get out of this because I am not a student, I'm an instructor. So I want to exit the student view and enter as an instructor. and click on Launch Courseware. So you'll see my page looks a little bit different than yours because I have the instructor resources and also the student links. Again, I can go into my course home, just the announcements, and make an announcement in my lab, which I don't use. I only use Laulima announcements. I can go into assignments and so on, but I'm just going to click on this orange tab because that'll take me to the whole course. So this is going to be the My Lab portion of your course eventually. So again, this is an instructor view. This is not a student view. I am going to change this tab to view the student home page. So by default, you'll see a 2-week calendar. Notice there's nothing due in here because you don't have anything due until the 3rd week. What's important here is that on the help button, did you do a browser check to make sure that what you need to run My Lab is updated, such as Adobe or the Wolfram Alpha CD. If you go into entire course to date, it takes away that calendar and it just lists assignments that are not necessarily due within the next 2 weeks, but are just due for the whole course. You scroll down, you can see you got all the homework is there. But what I wanted to point out is this announcement from Pearson, which you could read through if you wish. But right underneath, you'll also see that browser check. So you can access the browser check through the entire course to date or from the help icon at the top right. If we go into browser check, it says that I might have to check my version of the Wolfram CD player, which I'm not going to do. Instead, I'd like to talk about the My Lab math page. Your navigation bar will look different than mine because you see the Manage Course. You shouldn't see Manage Course or any of these items because those are for the instructor use. And down below, Discussions, Course Tools, Instructor Resources, that has been disabled for student use. What you really want to pay attention to is assignments. So notice that we have an orientation, and that is optional. It's not graded. That's if you've never used My Lab, then you would go through this orientation, and it teaches you how to enter answers into My Lab and so on. But the rest of this are all homework assignments. Your exams are not posted yet. I usually don't have the exams visible until they're ready for students to work on them. And the reviews as well, those aren't posted yet either. You can go through and you can click on assignments and complete them. Notice that on the left-hand column, there's a due date there. Let's go ahead and click on 12.1. So this is what it'll look like. It says 1% deducted per day from questions completed after the due date. So you can go in and click on the questions and complete them. If you don't finish, that's fine. Exit out, and then when you come back again, you can finish. Assignments, again, super important. That's where you are going to complete your My Lab assignments. All the rest of this other stuff is optional. Let's go into the gradebook first. The gradebook on My Lab, I don't really use it. And the reason why is because the percent grade, notice I don't even have anything posted in here. I didn't do any assignments. The percent grade that you're going to see is just on assignments that you have submitted. After the due date, I will go in and update your My Lab grade, but it's not automatic. So it's a little bit misleading when you look at your grade in My Lab. It's not your course grade. It's just the grade of things that you have submitted. Also, this grade book is very tricky when it comes to things like extra credit and offline items. So I have a choice. I have graded problem sets, and I have forums, and I have extra credit. And those are things that are really not in My Lab, so I can either put them in My Lab, or I could just transfer the My Lab grades to Laulima, and I choose to use the Laulima gradebook. Enough of that. So when you want to review an assignment that you have submitted, you would do that in Gradebook. In Gradebook, you can review, but you cannot change anything. If you want to rework assignments or work late homework, that would be in assignments. That's also where you take your tests. Okay, so assignment, super important. Gradebook, pretty important if you want to review something. The rest of this stuff is optional. If you go into study plan, you can do some exercises in other chapters that I haven't assigned, or if you feel that you need more practice than what I've assigned, you can access extra practice problems here in the study plan, and you can search by chapter, and each chapter you can search by section and so on. There's an interactive ebook, and there's a static ebook. I tend to use a static ebook, especially when looking at graded problem sets, because that actually is easier for me to read through than the interactive ebook. Oftentimes you saw my Wolfram Alpha, it wasn't updated. If your Wolfram Alpha is not updated, then the interactive ebook might look a little weird, or it might not even show up. You can also search the textbook by chapter if you want. Notice that there's also a student solution manual here. And that should be an HTML version, I believe. So you can look at the whole, you could like scroll through it like a PDF book. There's also Tools for Success, Multimedia Library. That's just another way to access the ebook, and some other things like PowerPoint lectures that my lab has. So let's go into 14, all sections. I'm going to select all and find now. I'm losing my voice, sorry. So these are all the resources you have for chapter 14 that you can look at. There's video lectures, right? There is the textbook. There's some interactive figures that you can play around with. That would be really nice if you're looking at a volume or something like that. Again, that's all optional. There's also a purchase option if you would prefer to have a hard printed copy of the textbook, but I believe it's one of those loose leaf binder editions. So you can get the complete text, which is all 17 chapters, I guess. You can just do single variable calculus, so that would be like your Calc 1 and Calc 2 course. Or you can just get the multivariable text. That would be it says Calc 3, but it's actually Calc 3 and 4. Accessible resources, any resources that my lab provides, like videos and so on, have to be ADA compliant. So if you do have issues with vision or hearing, you can go here and see accessible PowerPoint lecture slides, video transcripts, and so on. I think that's it for my lab. Just remember, assignment, super important. So I'm going to exit out of this. Let's close all this stuff and go back to our Laulima page and just double check to see if we've talked about all this stuff. This is an instructor's view. I do have all these weeks, but I haven't opened them up for the class. I think that's it for now. So please, if you have any questions on the course, did we go into, oh no, sorry, I lied. We're going to go into week 2 because it's a little bit different from week 1. So week 2, we're covering parametric and polar coordinates. So we have a description of what we're going to cover, and a reminder here in bold that you have to do the participation verification by Tuesday. So this would be your student participation verification that's due Tuesday. Again, you can open it up, type in yes if you wish to remain in the class, and then proceed. We have our first forum due Sunday after the second week, right? The weeks go Sunday through Saturday actually, but I post my weeks from Monday through Sunday, a little bit different. So there is a forum where you introduce yourself to the class. If you're not familiar with forums, there's a PDF instruction of forums. Also, I have a video for 12.1, 12.2. These are optional resources. You don't have to read the notes and watch the video. However, my notes are just PDF notes. And what I do is I just record myself filling them out. So that's what the video would be. I'm not going to click on it. It'll take you to my YouTube channel. I don't post my videos in Laulima because they're kind of large and they take up a lot of space visually on the page. So I'm a linear person. I like things concise. Anyway, these are optional resources. Again, you don't have to do the notes in the video, but if you would like to use them, you can print the notes or you can upload them to a tablet and you can follow along with the video lecture. And I now believe that that is it. Again, if you have any questions at all, please email me, and welcome to the class.